Hey, let's talk about science. For a lot of us, there's this feeling that it's some distant, complicated thing you either get or you don't. Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to completely flip that idea on its head. I want to show you that science isn't just a big list of facts to memorize. It's actually a powerful tool you're already using every single day. Now, really, think about it for a second. From the alarm that jolted you awake, to the coffee you brewed, to the quick weather check on your phone, science was right there, pulling all the strings behind the scenes. So our goal today is simple. We're going to make all those hidden connections visible. But first, we got to talk about why science can feel so unapproachable in the first place. And for a lot of people, it all starts back in school with something I like to call the memorization trap. This quote really gets to the heart of it, right? I mean, it hits home. When science class is just about cramming a bunch of terms for a test, it totally strips away the wonder and the curiosity. All that's left is, well, just a lot of pressure. Yeah, and that experience is just so incredibly common. It's the exact thing that turns what should be a process of discovery into a total chore. So when science is just boiled down to this endless list of words and formulas, it just feels abstract. It feels completely disconnected from our actual lives. And of course it feels like a burden to remember, because we can't see why any of it matters. But what if that was never the point of science to begin with? What if it was something else entirely? And this is the big idea. This is the whole game changer. Science isn't some static collection of facts sitting in a textbook. It's an active, powerful tool. Think of it like a new way of thinking, a lens that helps you see the world more clearly and make better sense of everything happening around you. So the goal isn't to become a world-class expert in everything. It's about developing something called scientific literacy. And what's so cool about this idea is that it's not about knowing all the answers. It's about knowing how to ask the right questions and how to think clearly about all the information that's constantly coming at you. Okay, so if science really is a tool for everyday life, let's actually put it to work. In this next part, we're going to take all that invisible science that's hiding in plain sight all around you, and we're going to make it visible. You might be surprised. It's hiding in the most familiar places you can imagine. Let's start with a room you've probably already spent some time in today. Your kitchen. It's basically a chemistry and physics lab you use every day without even thinking about it. Seriously, when you cook something in a hot pan, that's heat transfer. When you bake bread and it rises, that's biology. You're harnessing tiny living yeast for fermentation. And your microwave? That's pure applied physics, zapping your food with electromagnetic waves. It's amazing. Okay, now let's turn the focus inward to maybe the most complex machine you will ever operate, your own body. It is constantly performing these incredible scientific feats, sweating when it's hot to cool down, shivering when it's cold to warm up. These things aren't random. They are precise, automatic responses designed to keep your internal world perfectly balanced. And there's actually a word for this. It's called homeostasis. The key thing to get here is that your body is always working, constantly adjusting to keep things like your temperature and your blood sugar right in that narrow little sweet spot that keeps you alive. It's this continuous, life-sustaining balancing act. And this balancing act isn't just happening inside you. It's everywhere, driven by things we can't even see. Take microorganisms. We tend to think of them as the enemy, right? Causing food to spoil or making us sick. But they're also our friends. They're essential for making foods like yogurt and cheese, and they're absolutely crucial for breaking down waste in nature. So it really turns out context is everything. And if we zoom out even further, so much of what we just think of as normal life is built on these huge scientific breakthroughs. Electricity didn't just give us light bulbs. It literally defeated the night and completely reshaped how we live and work. Refrigeration didn't just keep our leftovers fresh. It changed the entire global food system. Each one of these things didn't just add a new gadget to our lives. It fundamentally rewired society itself. So look, seeing the science in our daily lives it's really fascinating, but it's also becoming absolutely essential for navigating the world we live in right now and for building the one we want in the future. I mean, just look around. We are surrounded by these huge, complex issues that demand clear thinking. We're talking about AI, energy policy, environmental challenges, new questions in medicine, not to mention just the constant flood of information online. We have to make judgments about this stuff, and scientific literacy is the tool that lets us do that well. Let's make this super concrete. Say you ask an AI a question and it spits back this incredibly confident-sounding answer.
How do you know if you can trust it? I mean, just believing it because the technology seems smart, well, that's not going to be enough. You need a framework. You need a way to think critically. And here is that framework. This is scientific literacy in action. First, you check the source. Then you look for actual evidence. Is it backed by data, or is it just someone's opinion? Third, you try to understand the limits. Does the source admit what it doesn't know? And finally, you compare it. Does this claim fit with what we more broadly understand to be true? This four-step process, it is a powerful, powerful tool against misinformation.
And that really brings us to the most powerful takeaway of all. When you shift your view of science from a list of facts to a practical tool, it doesn't just fill your head with more information. It actually changes how you see the world. It makes the ordinary things in life more meaningful and the really complex things a little more understandable. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. As you go about the rest of your day, what hidden processes, what invisible connections, what little bits of everyday science will you start to notice now that you know how to look for it? Thanks so much for joining this explainer.